What is going on YouTube? It is Matty Ice here, and I'm here with another video. This time we're talking about the Class 6A AHSAA reclassification and predictions. And we're going to start off with Region 1. And in the Mobile area where most of these schools are at, we have BC Rain, Baldwin County, Blount, Daphne, Gulf Shores, LaFleur, Robertsdale, Saraland, and Spanish Fort. The only school that came into this region, into this region was BC Rain. They moved up from 5A to 6A. And for my predictions, I have Robertsdale coming in last place. In 8th place is Gulf Shores. In 7th is LaFleur. In 6th place, I have Daphne High School. At number 5, I have Baldwin County. And making the playoffs, I have at the 4th spot BC Rain. For number 3, I have Blount. For number 2, I have Spanish Fort. And for the number 1 team in Region 1, I have Saraland. And honestly, in my opinion, I believe they have a chance to compete for the state championship and win it. But there's a whole lot of competition to cover. Moving on to Region 2, a lot of these schools are in the farthest south part of Alabama, and which they are Carver Montgomery, Dothan, Northview, Park Crossing, Russell County, Sidney Lanier, and Stanhope Elmore. And Sidney Lanier, they moved up from 5A to 6A to make it to this region. And for my prediction, I have in last place Russell County. In 6th place, I have Sidney Lanier. In 5th place is Carver Montgomery. And making the playoffs at the 4th spot is Stanhope Elmore. Coming in at number 3 is Northview. At number 2, I have Park Crossing. And winning this region at number 1, I have Dothan High School. Now moving on to Region 3, this is the Midwest area of Alabama. We have Benjamin Russell, Chelsea, Chilton County, Helena, Opelika, Pelham, and Wetumpka County. And Helena, they moved up from 5A to 6A and moved into this region. In last place, I have Chilton County. In 6th place, I have Wetumpka. Coming in at 5 is Chelsea. Making the playoffs at 4th spot, I have Pelham High School. For number 3, I have Helena. At the number 2 spot, I have Benjamin Russell. And for number 1, I have Opelika winning the Region 3 spot. Now moving on to Region 4, a lot of these schools are in the Tuscaloosa, Birmingham area. We have Bessemer City, Brookwood, Hillcrest of Tuscaloosa, McAdory High School, Northridge, Paul Bryant, and Selma. And all these schools were in 6A last year, so there's no change there. Coming in last place, I have Paul Bryant. At number 6, I have Selma. Coming in at number 5 is Brookwood. And at the 4th spot, making the playoffs, I have Bessemer City. Coming in at number 3, we have Hillcrest of Tuscaloosa. Coming in at number 2 is Northridge. And winning this region, I have McAdory High School. Now moving on to Region 5, a lot of these schools are in the Birmingham area. We have Homewood, Hueytown, Jackson Olin, John Carroll, Parker, Ramsey, and Shades Valley. And Parker and Ramsey, they moved up from 5A to 6A and are now in Region 5. We have Shades Valley coming in last place. In the 6th spot, I have Parker. At the 5th spot, I have John Carroll. Making the playoffs at the 4th spot, I have Jackson Olin. At number 3 is Hueytown. Number 2 is Ramsey. And I have Homewood winning Region 5 of the Class 6A. And coming in now, we move on to Region 6. A lot of these schools are in North Birmingham, which is Carver Birmingham, Center Point, Clay Chalkville, Gardendale, Minor, Pinson Valley, and Walker High School. The only changes we have here is that Carver Birmingham, they moved up from 5A to 6A, and I have them coming in at last place. In 6th place, I have Walker. At number 5, I have Center Point. And making the playoffs at number 4, I have Minor. At number 3, I have Pinson Valley. Coming in at number 2 is Gardendale. And winning the Region 6 area is Clay Chalkville. And they almost won the state championship last year. And I believe they're going to compete for it again. Okay, now coming into Region 7, we have a lot of these schools are above Auburn, Montgomery area. We have Albertville, Brewer, Coleman, Fort Payne, Oxford, Pell City, and Southside Gadsden. There's no change here. All these schools were in 6A last year. At 7th place, I have Brewer. At number 6 is Coleman. In 5th place, I have Oxford. And making the playoffs at number 4 is Pell City. At number 3, I have Southside Gadsden. At number 2 is Fort Payne. And for number 1, I have Albertville winning the Region 7 classification. And finally, we move on to Region 8. And a lot of these schools are in North Alabama, which are Athens, Austin, Columbia, Decatur, Florence, Hartselle, Hazel Green, and Muscle Shoals. And coming in at last place, I have Athens. At number 7 is Hazel Green. Coming in 6th place is Decatur. Coming in at 5th place, I have Columbia. And making the playoffs, I have the 4th spot is Florence. At number 3, I have Hartselle. For number 2, I have Muscle Shoals. And winning the Region 8 of the Class 6A, I have Austin. Now, with all these schools in mind, I believe that Clay Chalkville and, what did we say earlier? We had Saraland. I believe that Saraland and Clay Chalkville will be, one of those two schools will win the Class 6A state championship.